From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and welcome to our Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper leading our news tonight. This afternoon, men from across the interior strapped on high-heel stilettos and strutted a mile around the Pioneer Park parking lot. They did it to raise awareness for survivors of domestic violence. The Interior Center for Nonviolent Living gathered arms full of high heels in various sizes for the men to wear. After strapping up, Meadow Bailey gave the guys a quick explanation on how to walk properly and safely in heels. Once everyone was ready, they gathered underneath a balloon arch and began walking a mile in her shoes. Organizers said the International Men's March is a fun opportunity for the community to get involved in raising awareness about domestic violence and sexual assault in Fairbanks.
You know, it's hard not to get a great turnout on such a beautiful day, right? But the turnout's great. As you can see, there's a whole slew of people out walking. Yes, so I've been here all 3 years. The very first year, although it was a pretty good turnout, it's nothing like what we're seeing today. So the fact that it's becoming more and more popular and we're seeing more and more men come out and say that we are going to change the norms around power-based personal violence. We're no longer going to tolerate it in our community, and all of us are going to do what we can to prevent it from happening.
Starting at 7 this morning, early risers lined up to take advantage of reduced pricing for blood tests at Alaska's largest health fair. Downstairs in the Pioneer Park Civic Center, patients were offered free health screenings and affordable blood tests. Many services were free, including checks of vision, hearing, and blood pressure. Upstairs, local businesses offered health education and awareness. The goal of the event is to empower patients to take control of their health with reduced cost screenings and free information on making healthier decisions. Providers at the interactive booths were able to give simple tips on how to better live your life to its fullest potential.
I actually have to volunteer here for a class, Intro to Healthcare class at Lathrop High School. Phlebotomy is something I'm actually interested in. That's why I wanted to work here. I think blood is really cool. So I'm just making sure everyone has their supplies, keeping up. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I like to work with people, so. I definitely think it's beneficial to help people in the community. Most people have been really appreciative about everything.
It's an annual thing. I've done it for the past 6-8 years at least. It's very affordable, and you always see a lot of people you know, and it's just nice to have convenient results and relatively easy to do and very affordable, and really appreciate all the people that volunteer.
Hemp is a commonly used term for high-growing industrial varieties of the cannabis plant and its products, which include fiber, oil, and seed. Monty Bowen reports on the uses being found for the plant that could help rural Alaska.
Hemp is refined into products such as hemp oil, wax, resin, cloth, pulp, paper, and fuel. It is not to be confused with its close relative, marijuana.
Hemp is different as dog from a poodle to a German Shepherd. Industrial hemp has no psychoactive properties. It's 0.3 THC levels. You cannot catch a buzz with this stuff.
Jack Bennett of NunaWorks in Homer was in Fairbanks this past week for the Rural Energy Conference. He says that a building product he's working with, Hempcrete, could be a major way for Alaska villages to cut their heating costs in winter.
Hempcrete is going to save rural Alaska. The problem is $7 to $10 an hour to heat a home in rural Alaska, and with diesel, that's impacting the family's average household income by 50%. Sustainability really does save. The Hempcrete in high R value insulation reduces energy costs by 50 to 70% annually.
He said the product provides sustainability and has been used in other countries for decades for building and installation.
Producing 8-star energy rating homes in Australia, Europe, and Asia. Hempcrete is mixed with the woody chip of the hemp stalk. You grow 14 weeks on 2.5 acres. It produces enough building material to produce a 1,000 square foot home.
This is Monty Bowen reporting.
When we come back, local businesses are raising money for people in need. Also, an organization is doing its part to represent Fairbanks' city motto by giving back to the community. Stay with us. Welcome back. Fairbanks is known as the Golden Heart City. In this report, Jamie Schwartzwald gives us an example of why that name fits our town.
It's a Wednesday afternoon in the kitchen of the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Employees are busy loading bags of food, but the food is not destined for patients in hospital care. The packages will be delivered here to Hunter Elementary School, where 70% of students receive school meals free or at reduced cost.
This winter, we've been running anywhere from about 34 to almost 40% poverty rate in our schools, and that's significant. You know, that's just based on free and reduced lunch numbers, which we know those numbers are low.
In 2011, Tiffany Rickey, a former dietitian at FMH, realized Hunter Elementary, which lies in close proximity to the hospital, had such a great percentage of kids on free or reduced lunches. She wondered if those kids had healthy food options when they were away from school. It turned out that many of them did not, so she crafted the Bone Builders Backpack Project. Every 2 weeks, employees come together to fill backpacks with kid-friendly meals and snack items. The backpacks are delivered weekly to the school and provide kids with food to sustain them through weekends or holidays. Ricky has moved on from FMH, but the program continues. It currently provides weekend food for about 110 Hunter students.
This is real. Kids come to school without breakfast, lunch, dinner, and so Bone Builders really focuses on alleviating the weekend hunger. It just shows the type of people who work here. We are definitely a family. We pull together. People donate food. People can donate money through our hospital foundation.
The school district is working to expand the program through its Partners in Education initiative. There are about 4 other schools in the district where about half of the students may not have enough food to eat during the weekends. Now, not every business has the employee base or facilities of the hospital, but every little bit counts. Cold Spot for Healthy Pets has partnered with Tuckasik Brown Elementary in North Pole.
Our initial conversation started off with, "Did you know?"
Cold Spot General Manager Tim Erickson says he didn't realize that kids may not have healthy food options outside of school. When it dawned on him, Erickson decided to get involved.
And at that point, I was all in. I was like, you know what, I don't know what we can do. I don't know what magnitude we're going to make this thing, but I think that there's something we can do, start small, and to start building this program into something that where we can truly give back to the community that we operate in.
Since January, Erickson has been delivering about 20 Bone Builder backpacks to Tuckasik Brown on a weekly basis. School principal Shauna Henderson says the partnership is an early success.
I think it's directly impacting students in a positive way. So it's we've had a lot of very positive reception coming from it. And I hope the relationship continues, which I have no doubt that it will.
Erickson says Cold Spot for Healthy Pets will indeed continue to partner with the school and has bigger plans for the coming year. He also dropped a challenge to other local businesses to partner with a school of their choice.
There are so many people here that just need to know that there's a need, and if we can put that need out there so that other businesses can jump on board and figure out what little part that they can, you know, pull together themselves to make this happen, those percentages of kids that are not getting the food that they need can go away.
Unity Outreach Incorporated is printing its own coloring books to help fund its mission and help people in serious need. Ryan Grimes has details about how the local nonprofit plans to sell the book in the tourism industry.
Reed Baumgartner is the CEO and evangelist for Unity Outreach. The nonprofit's mission is to help people become self-sufficient after disaster and emergency. Baumgartner adds that providing resources to those in need can be costly.
We pull on about 300 people per year to do all these great projects, but we still need funds. We still have to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Safeway or somewhere, and if we don't have any cash flow, we can't, it's very, very difficult. And you can see that we've got a little bit of everything.
To help beat the overhead costs, Unity Outreach is partnering with artist Takenya Lampkin, who compiled an entire coloring book over the course of 3 years. The book will be sold at participating businesses with sponsorship opportunities available on each page.
The target market is tourists that come and want to bring something back home to their grandkids or kids and can show them places that they were where they've been around the state and things that they did. So that's where a lot of the stuff is the kinds of things that tourists would do in Alaska, but really well kind of broad representation of Alaska in general too.
Baumgartner says the coloring book already has some sponsors, but adds that more are needed.
So we cannot go to print yet until we get our sponsors, and the sponsors will pay for the first print. You'll be able to take this book into your store, you can sell it, and you would be able to make something for your store, and then you would make something for Unity too.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
Joe Cook is up next with your latest sports action. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Interior sports fans. It's time for your Saturday Sportscast. The Ice Dogs came into Friday night's opener in the Midwest Division Finals, just one series away from making the NAHL's Final Four. But the defending Robertson Cup champions, the Minnesota Wilderness, stand in their way. In the first period, the Ice Dogs were rewarded for their hard-working efforts as Reiner Gorowski finds Logan Coombs, who then feeds a wide-open Todd Burgess in the slot, and he does the rest. The best line in the league connects at the 9-1 mark, drawing first blood in the series, and the home team leads 1-0 after the first period. The second period went scoreless. Gavin Nieto had some outstanding saves for the Dogs to protect their 1-0 lead. He finished with 19 saves. The Minnesota Wilderness would tie the game in the third period. Kobe Bender's greasy goal gets under Nieto's pad, and it's 1-1. That would be enough to force overtime, but the extra period didn't last long. The final play comes at the 6:08 mark. Ryan Kiro collects the puck from Josef Ingman, and he feeds it to Mitchell Baumann for the game winner. Baumann's first goal of the postseason lifts Fairbanks to a 2-1 overtime victory over the Wilderness, and they lead the best-of-5 series 1-0. It's the Ice Dogs' first Division Finals win in 2 years.
Back and forth kind of game, and we were ready to go into OT, and we wanted to win, and Kiro dished it to me, just put it on net. Anything can happen in playoff hockey. It was amazing. All the guys just loved it. I loved it. It was just an awesome feeling. It doesn't get any better than that. We had to win every little battle. I mean, if you don't, that's an opportunity for them to capitalize. So, we really had to stay focused and get out there, go to work, and do our job.
Staying in the hockey world, the Alaska Nanooks announced that 5 players signed to the hockey program. Friday, UAF Hockey officially welcomed 3 forwards and 2 defensemen. Forward Kyler Hope out of Lashburn, Saskatchewan, put up 74 points in 58 games this season, and he scored 24 points in the playoffs for West Kelowna in the BCHL. Defenseman Danny Corrali from Glendale, Arizona, posted 40 points this year and led all NAHL D-men with 12 goals. He was all South Division for the Odessa Jackalopes. Fellow defenseman James Leduce out of Freeland, Michigan, was the NAHL Central Division D-Man of the Year for the Minot Montoros. He tallied 35 points and 10 goals in 56 games. Colton Leiter, a 6'1", 200-pound forward from Edmonton, Alberta, scored 55 points in 57 games for Spruce Grove in the AJHL. He's also won 2 league titles. Finally, Kyle Marino from Niagara Falls, Ontario, rounds out the signees. He's a 6'2", 220-pound forward. He scored 33 points in 57 games for West Kelowna and had 10 points in the playoffs. Marino and Hope won the first BCHL title for their team last weekend. Alaska's recruiting class now jumps to 11 players. Check out the full list in this story on the sports page of webcenter11.com. This weekend is the start of the 2016 track and field season, and some teams are out to prove a point. Today was the second day of the first all-schools track and field meet of the year. On the track in the 4x2 girls relays, the Allison Ravens, they took second place behind West Valley with an unofficial time of 1 minute 55 seconds in the second heat. West Valley won that in 1:51. For Allison, that's a personal best for the young quartet. They have 3 sophomores and a freshman. On the boys' side, West Valley's Joshua Cummings, Bones Joyner, Micah Banks, and Cornelius Mingle Jr. aim to defend West Valley's 4x2 relay state title. Today, they outran one of the favorites in the Colony Knights with an unofficial time of 1 minute 31 seconds.
Well, coming in, we knew that Colony had the best time overall out of everyone on the 4x2, so, we wanted to set the tone for the rest of the track season and put ourselves up there and let everyone know that we're here to win state again and we don't plan on losing.
I think we have a good group of girls this year, and for them being so young and then coming out here and, getting second place, amongst all these schools and whatnot, I think they had strong handoffs, they ran well, and I think they have a good connection between all of them. I think we can make a state again, and hopefully, we can perform as good good as last year.
Two undefeated teams met for the first time on Friday night in softball. The 3-0 Monroe Rams and the 2-0 Hutchinson Hawks were in action at the South Davis Fields. The Hawks got off to a hot start with a 4-0 lead. Their lead would increase with 3 more runs in the second inning. Riley Jacobs finished 2 for 2 with a couple of RBIs. Kelsey Huntington, she drove in 2 runs for the Hawks as well. The Rams would get one on the board, but that's all they would get. Is Kimmy Duffield would allow just 1 run. She had 9 strikeouts in a complete game for the Hutchinson Hawks, and they won 9-1, handing Monroe their first loss while improving to 3-0. In Anchorage today, both West Valley soccer teams suffered their first losses of the year in a rematch of last year's girls' state final. South Anchorage wins 2-0 over the Pack, and in the boys' game, South scored 4 times in the first half en route to a 4-0 win. It's the first time both West Valley teams have been shut out this year. On Friday, the Lathrop and North Pole girls, they tied in their last 4 meetings, but North Pole, they win on Friday 2-0, powered by Kaylin Heilinken's 2 goals and Lindsay Dammels 2 assists. The Lathrop boys, they rolled to a 6-0 win over Monroe. Reed Thomas scored 4 times for the Malamutes in the win. And North Pole, they hold off Allison for a 3-1 victory. There was also baseball action in the interior on Friday night. A big run sealed the deal for one team. Out at Marlin Field, West Valley took on the Hutchinson Hawks. Garrison Poland, he makes a play for the Hawks right here. His triple drove in a run for Hutch. That makes it a 5-2 game in favor of West Valley. In the top of the 4th inning, Hutch trying to come back. The Wolfpack would respond, though, by scoring 7 unanswered runs. Dylan Harpole led the pack with 3 hits, and Rudy Moretz got the win on the bump as the Wolfpack, they go on to win this one 12-2 in 5 innings over Hutchinson. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Katie Looper is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next weekend.
Welcome back to our Saturday edition. So Joe, it looks like summer is pretty much here now that the leaves are finally blooming.
Yeah, it's really nice weather out there. I know I'll be inside most of the weekend doing sports events, but if you can get out here and enjoy it, I think it's going to be a great summer and spring season out here. Absolutely.
It looks good for next week too. Let's take a look at our almanac for today. We had a recent high of 59, recent low of 64. Our record high got up to 76 in 2009, and it was quite a bit lower in 1937 at 8 degrees. Our sun rose at 5:20 this morning and sets at 10:21. We're getting those nice daylight or nice sunny hours at night, and our daylight equals 17 hours. And around the state today, we've got rain showers in Juneau and Ketchikan, temperatures in the 50s. Same for Anchorage and Kodiak. As we look to our west side of our state, it's partly cloudy in Nome, around 38 degrees. Up there in Barrow, cloudy skies for them at 25. For the Fairbanks interior region, about 37 with partly sunny skies. For our lower 48 weather, we have mostly cloudy skies in Seattle at 70 degrees. Same with Las Vegas and Phoenix, a little bit warmer though at 95. As we look over to our east, Minneapolis, partly sunny skies at 74. Same with New Orleans, a little warmer at 79. For Miami, they can expect rain showers, and up there in New York, partly sunny skies about 65. For early next week, we can see warmer weather for our northwest as we move on down south, showers for them. Cooler temperatures in our Midwest and East Coast area. Thunderstorms are expected in the deep south and Texas area. There should be some flooding. As for Florida, humid weather for them, and on our East Coast up through New York, rain is expected. Back in Alaska, mostly cloudy all throughout the northern region. Temperatures around 40 for Nome, 30 for Barrow, and about 57 in Fort Yukon. For our interior weather, it's mostly cloudy for both Fairbanks and Healy, and mostly sunny for Delta. And nice temperatures for Healy and Delta in the mid-50s and 62 in Fairbanks. Now for our southeast, rain all throughout and temperatures about 50 degrees. On our west side of the state, we can expect scattered rain for both Bethel and Cold Bay, and rain for Kodiak. Temperatures in the mid-40s for Cold Bay and Kodiak, and 55 in Bethel. Now lastly, for our south central region, mostly cloudy with a chance of rain for Anchorage and Homer, and rain for Valdez, and temperatures around 50 for that region. Tonight's forecast, we can expect things to be about 40 degrees, partly cloudy skies. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy at 62. And for our extended outlook, looks like things are getting nicer throughout the week, all the way up to 65 on Friday. And then our nightly temperatures are going to be about 40. So looks like nice temperatures just progressing through summer.
Yeah, I got to worry about that rain in the middle of the week, but other than that, it seems pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. That'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
And as always, you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.